Well, if you are Googling in 2024, you can find the information that Kyiv is 68% less expensive than New York without rent. Interesting, very interesting. Guys, of course, Google knows everything, but I'm not sure if it can analyze and evaluate this data without expert comment. I will give you the food for comprehension check. In US, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 if I'm not mistaken, but in Ukraine it goes to $1.20. And of course, we could handle this $1.20 if not full-scale invasion. According to the results of the first year of full-scale war, consumer inflation in Ukraine amounted to 26.6%. From the other hand, the level of international aid is drastically decreased in 2024. In this video, guys, I will show you how full-scale invasion influenced on family incomes on the sample of my family, grandma and my mom, and also will tell you how Ukrainian people are coping. Even before the war on Donbass and when $1 costed 8 hryvnias, sustainable living minimum was low. It was $1.50. Compared with African countries, it was almost the same. Invasion brought drastic inflation. If before full-scale act of genocide from the side of Russia Federation we could buy $1 for 27 hryvnias, now it costs 38. If we check one of the first most popular website where Ukrainians are searching for jobs, we can see that salaries a little bit increased in 2023. However, if we compare it with the course of the dollar, we can see that buying possibility of average Ukrainian has been dropped. Inflation hits hardly vulnerable population, especially elderly and children. Actually, children poverty in Ukraine was high before the full-scale invasion. I can explain it, because historically it happens that women in Ukraine give birth at the beginning of their careers, in the middle 20s or even early 20s, and usually in such family they have only one person who works, it's father, and woman is a stay-at-home mom, and of course children or child is not working and earning. And of course, government is trying to provide for such families paying child's benefit. However, in the full-scale war, all the budget payments goes to the front line, almost all the budget payments. But I'm glad that local mayors are still funding theaters that can stage children plays to bring young Ukrainians additional joy on affordable prices. My mom directed the play you see now. She has a facultative diploma as a director. The price for ticket is still sustainable. It starts from 80 hryvnias. It's $2, guys. I don't know how in your country, but in Ukraine art is affordable for everyone. But of course, it will not resolve children poverty. And situation escalates with the fact that father could be on the front line and mom is still alone with the child. Elderly population is also suffering. For example, my grandma having a retirement in 3,000 hryvnias, and if she has no me and my mom, she would barely survive. Lonely elderly people always selling their stuff on the street, I have seen it, to earn some extra and survive. And I also seen a video where elderly women and men are digging into the garbage cans in the streets, and this is true, guys. I'm not lying, this is true. Situation makes worse than elderly people need medical services, because not all medical services in Ukraine are free, and affordable medicine that can be provided by the government is always the cheapest. For example, pills from blood pressure that my grandma can receive for free are causing serious side effects. That is why we are buying her expensive medicine to normalize her health and make her feel better. Friends, while you are watching this video, I am doing my research for the next one, and I just wanted to thanks to all folks who are supporting Jane as a content creator. Because of your help, it's possible for me to reduce my working time and dedicate some additional time to content creation, guys. And only with your help it's possible for us to support militaries in some small things without doing fundraising. So if your heart is, you can proceed to description of this video and find my Buy Me a Coffee page. Thank you very much. We have a big problem with the dental care. Private clinics are charging almost $50 for professional hygiene of the mouth, for example. That is why when I need to cure caries when it's not severe, I'm going to governmental clinic, where you're having your teeth chopped right next to another patient in the room. However, even in the governmental hospital, you need to pay for dental care. I've paid almost $19, but it was small dental filling without anesthesia, so pensioners will have to save to visit even governmental dentist. But this is a paradox. Families' self-assessment about their well-being are not changed since the full-scale invasion, only because family now are appreciating the things they already have. They are not buying new extra clothing and using the clothing they already have, and they are more humble in buying the food because they see in reality that some of the families has lost everything. They lost their houses, flats, apartments, lives of their loved ones, and now refugees inside of Ukraine or outside. And by the way, guys, payments for refugees inside of Ukraine internal displaced person are only 2,000 hryvnias. What can you buy for 2,000 hryvnias in a month? Guys, I also checked statistic at the beginning of 2024. They told that to collect in the grocery store the minimal basket of food, you need to spend around 500 hryvnias at one time. Of course, it's bare minimum. For example, my mom spends around 600 hryvnias at one time when she's shopping at the grocery store. And my husband's family also. But believe me, guys, they are very humble in food. Food prices in Ukraine rose by average on 26%. The prices of meat and meat products jumped by 20%. For example, pork cost $6/8 per kilo. Fruits prices rose by 45% and vegetables by 39%. The biggest jump in prices was recorded for chicken eggs. It rose by 80%. Could you imagine? Oil prices rose by 10% and milk by 9.3%. According to the statistics, 67% of Ukrainians are saving on food. The popularity of cooking at home is increasing. It applies most to the temporary employment people, freelancers, and those who do household chores. High prices for food are connected not only with inflation and full-scale war, but with external reasons we have never expected coming. Due to the border blockade by Poles farmers, Ukrainians lost approximately 8 billion hryvnias in customs payments, and businesses suffered financial losses of more than 1.5 billion euros. This blockade also has consequences on consumer price. It's linked to the increase in the prices of wine, cheese, groceries, fish and seafood, everything that is not produced in Ukraine. It can increase in price by 5/8%. Poles pro-Russian protesters are also damaging grain that we are transferring through Poland, that was seed on mined Ukrainian fields and harvested during shelling. Many Ukrainian farmers gave their life to provide this grain. Friends, foreign friends, if you're seeing news how Poles are blocking border cross station in Ukraine, please do not be silent about it. Talk about it within your own bubble and environment offline, and of course online. We should keep this information in international media agenda, because this blockade is ruining Ukrainian economy. My mom told me that small towns and villages are suffering the most, despite of increasing population because of arriving IDPs. Entities and factories are reducing facilities and send workers to the demurrage, reducing wage. If you are working unofficially, you can be fired any minute. But in this severe economic situation and recession, big surprise for me was the fact that restaurants, bars and cafes informed about increasing of the income because more people started to eat out. It's like unbelievable. On the 8th of March, we decided to go to the restaurant with my friend and saw a lot of people there. Maybe all these people lately had the money to travel abroad before the war, and now when borders were closed for men, such proportion of people are staying inside of the country and spending money in Ukraine. That is good. But actually, when I was thinking about the situation, I found a reasonable answer. Paradox. When I was working as a lawyer, I have been working as a lawyer for 5 long years and had huge stress. First thing I did when I received my tiny salary, yes, I have not received much as a lawyer. Another paradox in Ukraine. And do you know who else lives from paycheck to paycheck in Ukraine? Teachers. It while to have higher education, be intelligent, teach next population of Ukrainians, read, be responsible for future, and earn minimal wage. So how they releasing the tension and burnout? First thing I wanted is to treat myself, to release this tension and stress and buy myself new clothing maybe. New trousers, blouse, cardigan or purse. And of course, in such stupid attitude to money, I was run out of my salary in 2 weeks. However, who cares when I have a stress? Actually, restaurants are the only place where Ukrainians can spend their money. As I have mentioned already, the borders have been closed and real estate market everywhere except of the west of the country has stagnated. During the first year of war, restaurants prices increased by 30%. By the end of the second year, they increased by another 15%. Now the average check for one person is 500 hryvnias, that is $13. If you are not drinking alcohol, of course. My colleague has been living in Poland for 4 years, and she informs me that prices for clothes in Ukraine the same as in Poland. During my short visit to Dnipro region, my mom decided to buy me a spring jacket as present for 8th of March. I've chosen Sensei because they still have a discounts. I found a suitable option for 600 hryvnias with a discount 60%, only because it was a small size. The average prices for coats and semi-season jackets are vary from $40–60 in the budget stores and $100–150 in upper middle class stores. And we guys living without children. And even if I wanted to have a child, I understand there is a silver lining here. Because family of 2 who are working without any children is the most beneficial economic model now in Ukraine. But even our family buys all that is not connected with shoes, coats and purses in the thrift stores. Because in my understanding, this shirt cannot cost $20. It's robbery. I wanted to apologize for this video if someone was triggered by it. I know that in Europe and in England, in US, Canada and other countries who are helping Ukraine, prices also very high, and it was caused not by your help to Ukraine, but it was caused by the Putin's war. Please understand this. I hope this video covers the real situation and you better now understand struggles Ukrainian families have faced with. Of course, I was talking about territories far from the front line because my videos connected with personal experience. Please like and comment on this video for YouTube algorithm. I appreciate your help.